made it be my way.
What's up, you guys? We are back at Blerd Buster, and we are back with your two favorite hosts, your girl Shalon and your boy
K1.
Yep, as you guys can already tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are doing Derry. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Hold on.
Welcome to Derry.
It. Welcome to Derry. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm so used to people just saying Derry on social media, but yes, it's welcome to Derry.
Right.
I'm excited to get into this because I have a lot of things to say. We always start off by rating it. I'm going to give it a solid 7. Personally, I know some people may be like, girl, you crazy. I know a lot of people are saying it was really good. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just have to give it a solid 7.
Nah, I mean, I understand you. I mean, to be honest, if it didn't come out the gate like it did, I probably would have gave it a solid 7 as well. But, you know, just with episode 8 and how it was, you know, for me, I'll probably give it a solid 8. I could be moved on it, but I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Solid. I'm happy you brought up how it went out the gate, because I'm gonna be real. I was not expecting them babies to be going through some things like that. That was crazy.
Man.
Crazy. I mean, right out the gate. And I'm not jumping too far ahead, unless you got something you want to say first, because I'm just like, the end of that episode. Oh, God. Ugh. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if we got to talk about it, I would say that the end of the episode to me, the last episode to me, was a petty episode, nonetheless. That's why I felt like it was. Just a lot of elements that was in there. But, you know, before we hop in there, I don't want to go too far. But, you know, like Shalon said, like, out the gate, like, man, it felt like Attack on Titan. Like, people you thought was going to live, gone. Just gone. You know, you got a little boy, you know, riding in the car. You like, all right, he trying to get out of Derry or whatever have you. Next thing you know, he in this car with these weird people. They started off normal at first. He like, okay, you know, they gonna give me a ride. They seem cool, blah, 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 whatever. Then shit just started getting weirder and weirder and weirder. I was like, where are we going with this? And, you know, I'm like, it can't be this early. Like, we're not going into it this early right now. There's no way. Just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder. You had to. The son that was saying different words, you know, showing how he could spell, like, yeah, I can spell this, that, and the third. Then the sister started, you know, touching liver and crap like that. I'm like, where did the liver come from? Like, why?
Bro, the mom's having a baby in the front seat.
Oh my God, like, and everybody's just calm about it, you know, like, mom and dad was talking shit to each other, talking about like, yeah, your legs be open, and I'm like, what? In front of the kids? In front of the children?
Okay, that's what I was saying. And then at one point, I think Maddie was his name, if I'm not mistaken. He turned, and I think he started praying. Was he praying? He was doing something where he had turned away from everybody. And he was like, I think he was praying, and correct me if I'm wrong or not, I can't really remember. But what creeped me out was everybody, it was kind of like chaos going on, and when, I guess, noticed he turned and was like praying, it literally, everybody was like staring at dude. I was like, bro, something's about to happen. Next thing you know, his block got knocked off, and I'm like, whoa, okay. we out the gate, pacifier flying out the window. I'm just like, and it took me a minute because I was like, did they really kill him? But it was kind of like off camera type thing. The way they set it up, where it was kind of like, because I feel like even with the movies, you never really see the deaths for real, as far as the kids go. And at least in my opinion, from what I've seen in the movies, even the OG movie. So, and I'm not trying to jump ahead, but I'm just making a point that I thought it was perfect how they set it up in the beginning to not really show Maddie's death, but to jump towards the end where they show everything. and like you said, they pulled like a Game of Thrones. We didn't know who was next, who was gonna survive, and it like we literally had these group of kids that we thought were gonna last the rest of the season.
Right.
I knew someone was gonna get picked off,
right?
but not the whole group.
Not to that magnitude, because I mean, when you look at chapter 1 and 2, whatever, like, you know, it was like anime. Friendship saved them essentially, or whatever. But in this one, it was like, nah, friendship don't mean shit. Like, these people ain't even friends for real. You know, like, you know, because I mean, with Maddie, and how he got hit or whatever, it was just like, bro, like, wait, because like in the way that, and I love how they did it though, because in our minds, like, yeah, he couldn't have been just killed off like that. Something else is going on or whatever have you. But lo and behold, you get more and more into the story. No, he dead for real, real. And it was like, but why? You know? And like I said, just from there, just out the gate, it was just kill after kill after kill. And it was like, wait, I thought he was going to be in there. I thought she was going to be in there. The baby, oh my God. Jesus Christ.
So much. It's so much.
Oh, the movie theater. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, that I will say, and I'm just saying the reason why I give it a solid 7 was the first 2 episodes out the gate. I was locked in. I was like, oh, they coming with it. That one episode alone with the movie theater and how them, and I hope that was the first episode where we saw the movie there. It might have been the second one, I can't remember. But nonetheless, them first 2 episodes, I was locked in. I was like, oh, this is something serious. Just for me, towards the middle of the show, I kind of it lost me a little bit. And I'll get more into that as we go through the episode. But finale, I was like, okay, I wish it would have been more so for me, kind of consistent all the way through. But to go back to the beginning, I was just blown away because, like I said, I was not expecting that. Usually kids are off limits. And I was not expecting deaths to be that gory. I wasn't expecting to see all that. And me and you always talk, we like, no, show us the real. Show us gory, whatever. I just wasn't expecting for it to be doing that to them babies like that. I was just like,
I was like, yo, come on, man.
man, the weird baby creature with the wings. I mean, I'm like, man, like, oh my, like literally the whole group. I think dang, what is her name? The girl who was it Lily? Is it Lily who kept being threatened to go to the sane asylum and the lobotomy?
It wasn't threatened. She was going. Yeah,
What?
she
You
was going. One threat. That was another thing. Like, you just gonna throw the child in nut houses off a GP? Like,
they definitely wheeled her butt on up there. But but the crazy thing about it is, out of that whole group, it was like she was the only one out of the original group that was left, and I thought that was just crazy because, like we said, typically you have these groups that last throughout the whole show. So I thought it was perfect how they opened up like that. And I'll get into later how, since they set the standard so high for me, I felt like there should have been more deaths by the end of the season. Because, I mean, we got the second group and only one person ended up, not going to spoil it till we get there. But, they set the bar so high for me. That's why I was just like, but.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, because they had you invested. Like, don't have me invested in people that ain't going to survive. Like, they had me invested in these characters or whatever.
Okay.
Because you had the one kid. What was the one boy's name? His was, God, I can't remember his name because he got let go so quick. But he was
Is he in the second group or the first?
No, he's in the first group. I want to say what is his name? Because I see Lily, I see Will, I see Rich. He got cut away so fast they don't have him up there.
It was in there for a quick little second, I'm telling you.
I'm trying to tell you. Anyways, they had a young boy in the beginning of it that you thought was gonna, be in there for a good little minute. And he had a Jewish background, he had a Jewish, family and everything like that or whatever. So it's like they was kind of trying to, delve into his story or whatever. And I mean, now that I look back at it and I see the Easter eggs, I understand now. But even still, I'm just like, man, y'all gave me too much to think that he was gonna last. And like, I essentially thought he was gonna be the leader of the group. You know,
Mhm.
outside of
Mhm.
everybody else, I thought he was gonna end up being the leader of the group or whatever. But
Mhm.
just man, he and I want to say he almost got the worst. And
Mhm.
but they had you invested in his story, and he was trying to talk to his dad, and I guess because of how that household is structured, they don't care or believe or anything that's fictional or anything like that or whatever. So
Yeah.
Buddy tried to talk to his pops about like, hey, like that makes sense to you, like this is that and the third happening, and then his dad was like, oh yeah, nah, you reading all these comic books and stuff instead of rooting yourself into the real world. It's like, bruh, like listen to this man, like because I
Okay.
mean that was the problem in the original. It's you had these
Mhm.
kids trying to tell their parents what's going on, the parents not listening, and this. Oh
I
man,
agree. I agree with you.
typical.
I'm not a parent, but if my baby came and told me, I don't care if it's off the wall. If they up here look distraught and traumatized, I'm sorry, I'm believing them. These parents, one of the things that pissed me off about these movies that you had these kids like telling their parents about all this stuff, and they're just kind of like fussing at them like you need to stop reading all these comic books and you need to get back to reality and da da da. I'm like, okay, meanwhile the kids die in 1.2 business days and the parents looking like crying and stuff, and I'm like, well, the kid tried to tell you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm happy you brought up the fact that you thought the Jewish kid was gonna be like one of the leaders, because and that was another thing I want to touch on, is like the first group we had, they were so slick with how they did it. They legit gave us the group of kids. Like there was one that had, the one kid that's always cussing and kind of don't really take stuff too seriously. Then you have, you always got to have a girl in the group. You have the kid that maybe is going through some abusive things or whatever by that nature. And they even threw one of them had the sister. So then parents lost two kids in one night, which was wild. I was even expecting that. But like you said, they weren't even in there for too long, so it's kind of like I didn't really have a chance to get attached to them, and I tried not to get attached to the second group. Honestly, dang, I don't want to jump too ahead. I'll just say one of the characters that we all know at this point that did get, I was very upset about that, but I guess that's a testament to the characters and the actors, and you grow attached even when you don't want to. But yeah, they went out the gate hot. Went out the gate hot. I was locked in. I thought, man, this is crazy. I ain't never seen them take out kids like this. I mean, the creators did not care. Did not care. Did not care. Did not care.
I mean, fun fact about this though is the person that directed this was the original voice of Aladdin, and when I found that out, I was like, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the director of this movie was the original voice for Aladdin in the cartoon film.
Oh
And
wow.
I
Okay.
was like, oh,
Okay.
so he dark. I was like, all right,
Okay. Yeah.
but
I love it.
yeah,
If you're gonna have a show or a movie where you have this evil entity feeding on kids, let us see how bad it can get. Like, let me be like, dang, like, because like I said before, the movies and the OG, I guess you would say like special show or whatever, special episodes, we never really saw that. Like, it was just kind of like we would see certain things, but we never saw like it actually like to that extent. So I thought, hey, that was perfect. If he was the person to be like, hey, we gonna do this and we out the gate, hey, I commend him on that, because I mean that was crazy. That was crazy.
yeah, I mean, because just going back to it, in that movie scene or not in the movie theater scene or whatever, you know, like I said, we built small attachments, not strong enough to be like, oh man, we hate to see you go. It was just to the point. It was like where you had one kid, then you had another kid that had a sister, and you like, okay, the sister just getting into this. There's no way she's gonna die. Why? Why would you kill her off? She's barely, a figment in our mind or whatever. So you get to the movie saying it's Lily, the two boys, the boy's sister, and also Ronnie as well. Because when we get to that, and the reason why she's coming into the fold of the characters or whatever, you'll understand it more. But when it came down to that or whatnot, it was just like, all right, cool. Like, Lily in there, she's seeing everything going crazy or whatever. And then crazy thing about it, they see Maddie on the screen and they're over there thinking like, oh Maddie, hey,
Mhm.
come here, like we can save you. Like you hear us, blah blah blah. The whole time that ain't Maddie for real. Like this was just to get y'all in there. Like this ain't Maddie for real. And then Maddie, coming off the screen or the baby thing coming off the screen, I'm like, oh damn, the baby back. Like I thought the baby thing was done. Just came through shredding through everybody. Like everybody was getting it lit, and honestly I thought Lily was gonna go. I didn't think everybody else was gonna go. I was like for sure Lily gotta go, but nah, Lily stayed in there for whatever reason. And
Yeah.
you see the one scene of the little girl like reaching out to Lily. I'm like, I'm sure you're gonna be able to pull her real quickly, and something's gonna happen. No, the baby got it bad. And I hate to say that, but I wish I could have seen it because it happened so fast. I was like, Jesus Christ. So
I guess they was like, let's not lay it all on the viewers, but yeah, you
might as well, like, cause
right at that point,
right? Cause when he lifted Buddy up in the air, I'm like, oh, what? No,
what?
It just went bad.
Bro, I want him against the glass at the top with Ronnie. I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I thought that was a brilliant move on the writers and director's part to throw everybody for a loop, because typically, like I said, with the show and the movies, we always just have our group of people and that's who we be with throughout the whole journey. So I thought that was dope. What did you think about the actors that they chose for the show? Because I thought the kid actors were really done well. Lily pissed me off throughout the whole thing, but that's a testament to the actress, because I'm just like, girl, you done sat up here and caused a whole bunch of mess, and I was I may be wrong for saying that. I was kind of happy they took her back to the asylum for the one episode she was in there, because she pissed me off. Um, and and I thought the casting choices for the adults, Will's parents, was well done. It's actor, what's his name?
Skarsgård.
He's always amazing, period. So I mean, there's not much to say on him. He's always an OG when he do his thing. But I thought the casting was pretty well done.
Got his name now because I really do not want to keep calling him Jewish boy. So his name is Mikhail Karim, and his character's name was Terry. That's what his character name was.
Terry. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I just didn't want to keep going on with that one, but yeah. So I mean, as far as characters go, that's what you was asking, right? As far as like how they would give a casting. Yeah, I think the casting was like I said, pretty spot on or whatever. Of course, when it came to the Hamlin family, I mean, I think it was perfect casting with the mom to the son and the son to the dad and all that or whatever have you. I think it was good casting or whatever have you. But I will say one thing that was a little weird to me was the casting for the daughter of Bob Gray, which we'll jump into that when we get to it. But outside of that, I mean, the kids to me just did phenomenal. Like I would love to see them in other things going forward, but I think the kids acted their asses off, man. Like but outside of that, I think it was pretty good. And then you seen what's his name, James Rimmer. He's a very good actor, and it's kind of sad to see how old he's starting to get now. Because I mean, we used to see him and stuff back in the day, but yeah, he played his part, even though he was a dumbass through and through. He played he played his part. And
he played the commander, right, or the general?
Played the general or something like that. Yeah, General Francis.
I know him from I kept calling him Richard because I'm a huge Sex and the City fan. He played one of Samantha's people she dated. So yeah, I was like, hey, I was like just seeing him and I was like, I know him from somewhere, but I've always loved him as an actor. Yeah, he did great, even though he pissed me off too, because I'm like, we gonna get to that, but I was like, you got what you got, man. I don't know what you thought you was about to do, but
I mean, outside of that, I mean, the only one I didn't really care for was Hank Grogan's character. I didn't care for him a whole lot. That was the one that was, well, we'll get into his role in the show, but his role was essentially after the movie theater incident with the kids dying or whatever. They put all the blame on him because apparently,
yeah, he pissed me off. Like, yeah, we'll get into that because I'm just like, man, honestly, A lot of the adults pissed me off. A lot of the adults pissed me off. I felt like it was just like even Hanlon, the Will's father, and I'm trying to see his name, Leroy.
Leroy.
It just was a lot that I felt like the parents failed the kids a lot, and that's what. And it, I mean, it goes. It's kind of like a thing with the it franchise. Like the parents just fail the kids, and it's just like no one's believing nobody. Stuff has to happen for the parents to be like, "Well, listen, okay, we gotta listen now." It's like, why do people gotta die for y'all to finally listen? But I will say that, and just I'm gonna just because I'm black, I do love the representation in the show. I thought that was dope. um and I love that they put a spotlight on the Hanlon family, and we got to see more insight on Will, which I didn't know because I'm still learning the lore. I didn't know he was ends up being the father to the black kid in the original it timeline within the 80s. I forgot his name. My apologies, you guys. I'll try to flip through and find it, but I didn't know that either. So I thought that was dope to see, their family and had, Will's family dynamic. So
Right. I mean, I just think the universe in tow is just amazing to me, or whatever. Just to be
hmm
able to have this piggyback off of chapter one and chapter two, but also piggyback off the the old mini series that we grew up on, or whatever have you. So I was just like,
yeah.
man, that's just crazy how all this stuff is connecting, or
hmm
whatever. And it's funny to me though because there were some movies that came out by Stephen King that I didn't know were in the universe. I just assumed these were just
hmm
little side movies, but it's like, nah, everything you've seen, anything that got Stephen King name on it is connected. I was like, God, Lee,
Yep.
So it was just kind of it was very interesting to get that revelation or whatever have you. But yeah, but I mean yeah, like you said, outside of the parents though, I think what I will say about Leroy though is like Will told his mom first what some of the crazy stuff he was saying or whatnot, and it's not that she
Yeah.
didn't believe him because she saw weird stuff. Her black intuition was showing when she was going through the city, and like that seems weird. That seems weird. I'm not going down
Yeah.
that alley and things of that
Yeah.
nature or whatever. But I will say, even though Leroy was caught up in his mission and doing what he needed to do or whatever, I still think when it came down to it, he was there for Will because, like, he took him out fishing or whatnot, and Will still hadn't told him what was going on. Moms knew what was going on, but he hadn't told his dad yet.
True.
So
That's true.
they're out there fishing and everything like that or whatever. And I feel like had his dad not seen the balloon like he did, he probably wouldn't have gave it no. He would have probably wouldn't have gave it no thought. But the fact he did
Yeah.
see it, it's like, oh nah, like why is just a random balloon just floating around here or whatever, And I will say that about this series that when it came down to the parents not being affected, nah, they was getting hit too. And normally that doesn't happen in the It movie. It's just like mainly focused on the kids and making the kids seem like they're crazy and the parents not knowing anything or being none the wiser. But in this one, like at least halfway through, all the adults were seeing what was going on. They're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on in this town? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I will say you made a great point. Besides the Hanlon family, because you're right. I will say the dad Leroy, he definitely, especially because he already was feeling like there was weird stuff going on the army base in general. Um, I like that at least they were like they believed their son. I think Will was probably like only one kid that had his parents believe them. It was other parents, especially Lily's mom. Like, ma'am, you just throwing your kid in a sane asylum, and like who does that? But right, I honestly don't think she did. Like at this point, but and I happy you brought up the fishing incident in the balloon because I think and it happened twice, and I had asked my family, I was like, does it not give a damn anymore? Because I'm like, usually he's just he's mainly messing with the kids. At this point, it seemed like he's like, well, hey, I want daddy to see me too, so I'm about to show the balloon off to daddy too. Like, I don't even care. At this point, I don't care. And I'm like, is he trying to just be petty at this point? If that was something like I wish they may have It may just be me. Maybe they didn't have to dig into that deeper, but I thought that was really interesting that he definitely wasn't worried about not showing certain things to Will's father. He was just like, "Hey, okay, here's the balloon. Yep, I almost snatched your kid up in the water. Okay." Like,
So like I said, just didn't really care. Cause
mhm.
but then too is when it comes to the woman that plays Bob Gray's daughter, which is who Pennywise stole his image from, this character named Bob Gray. But
Yeah.
it tripped me out though that throughout the beginning of the series, we're thinking it is hiding and showing himself in certain places when the whole time it's her, and I'm just like, huh? So Shorty's just basically been just kind of hiding around, seeing when she could possibly see it, thinking that it is still her father. Which, like I said, when we get later on in it, we'll find out otherwise that she was just dumb as hell. Like, god damn.
That pissed me off. I'm just like, and it all circles back to Ronnie's father, the guy who, the black guy who they were trying to pin everything on. I'm like, you done sat up here and caused all this mess, and this lady don't even want you like that. She literally just worried about her daddy. Like, just like, really, the people who should have died that didn't should have been those two, but everybody else just all that mess, even with the and I forgot the spot they called it, but it was the spot where the black military men had their own, they wanted their own space, and I'm trying not to jump too far ahead, so I won't say too much,
Yeah.
but even that situation caused by essentially, yeah, I'm not trying to get too far ahead, but what did you think? What did you think about the backstory of it? And I'm not trying to jump too far ahead. I just wanted to touch on it real quick before I forgot. Because and I say that because prior it took quite a few episodes to get to the full reveal of it. And what I thought was gonna happen, because in the movie theater and even with the first scene with Maddie, we didn't see the clown form of Pennywise. So I was thinking maybe this was before he got the form, and maybe that they're taking it from that position, and then maybe he sees something, he's like, oh well, clowns appeal to kids, let me take this form. So it threw me off to see, you know, to finally, before, prior to getting to the backstory of course, because they finally revealed him. I just thought it was interesting that they chose the anticipation route to show Pennywise versus like, we'll show you how he, they chose to wait until they showed how he became Pennywise, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm all over the place, but if that makes sense, essentially, what do you think of them showing, the whole backstory of that? Because it threw me off a little bit.
So I mean, if I get what you're saying, instead of showing Pennywise like how we know him, they basically showed his backstory or Bob Gray's backstory, essentially, or whatever have you. That's what you're referring to, correct?
Yeah, because when it first came on, I was thinking, because they didn't show his form yet, I was like, and they kept showing this baby with wings and stuff, and I'm like, well, maybe this was his form before Pennywise. And so when they did finally show his Pennywise form, I was like, oh well, he could always be Pennywise, I guess. So that's why I'm saying, like, what did you think about how they chose to do it, and then what did you think about them showing his backstory?
I mean, yeah, they definitely threw us for a loop or whatever because I mean, I think what it is they really just lean more into his shape shifting abilities, like because we've always known him as the clown and nothing else but the clown.
Yeah,
So essentially,
yeah,
we was like, okay, where the hell's the clown? That's what we're looking for. We keep seeing this deformed
yeah,
ass baby with another head coming out his neck and shit.
right,
Like, where is he at?
yeah,
So yeah, I feel like it was reasons for that. I didn't like say. I think they just want to kind of showcase like he doesn't have to keep this form. He could be whatever form he want
yeah,
to be. He just chooses that to be his main form. And the
yeah.
thing about it is he can pull up on you. You wouldn't even know it, just depending on what
Mm-hmm.
form he takes. And with that being said, like when you see the weird ass baby and shit like that, it's like you don't have to take that form. You like there's other ways you can do shit, but you just choose to do it however you're doing it. But when it came down to the backstory, Bob Gray, the person he, mimicked who he was
Yeah,
after or whatever, I thought it was kind of weird because they said it essentially was before time. Like he was dropped here, before all this stuff was going on or whatever. So essentially when we first see it, in this backstory, we're introduced to him as a child. You see this
Mhm.
child looking in a barn at this show of this clown, and all these kids rushing to him and everything like that or whatever. So they're just kind of. I wish I could have seen more of that though. Like, how was he as a kid trying to lure other kids to, eat them? And essentially, like, I don't know if that was too slow for him. Like, he maybe he just wanted his in bulk. Maybe it was too slow for him. It's like, all right, I get one of y'all, but I can't get seven of y'all to come with me or whatever. So I was kind of interested to see how I really want to know how that was for him beforehand, because for him to have that much time on his hands to be looking and see Pennywise, like, yeah, nah, I need that skin. Like, I want that skin. I want
Mhm.
to be you. I want the kids to come to me and that be that or whatever. But, like I said, if they go deeper and have an actual movie about how, he came to be what he is, I'm just interested to see what he did beforehand, because it ain't just until you got to the 1900s you feel like, man, I've been doing this shit wrong for centuries. Like, who I'm finna take now? And you see this clown. Oh yeah, I want to be him. I'm pretty sure you've seen other forms of something that drew crowds or drew people to it or whatever have you. Because the thing about it is it can eat whoever he want to eat. It don't have to be a kid. It can be it can be a man or whatever. But he prefers kids. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know if it's a lot of people kept saying like it's the seasoning. It's the seasoning about
Yeah,
it. Like, something about that fear in kids is real
that's the
delectable to
fear.
them. Now when it
Yeah.
comes to adults, I guess it's just not enough. It's not enough fear for
Mhm.
him. So I just would have been interested to see that and how that played out. But then when he finally did take Bob Gray's form, Bob Gray was just a normal ass guy. Like, he was down bad. His wife died. He only had one child. You know, doing these little events trying to make ends meet. And then finally, it walk up on him like, "Hey man, I need your help." Like, somebody got my mom. He like, "Hey man, I'm busy. I'm on a break." He over here smoking and
Mhm.
drinking. He like, "I'm on a break. What you want, kid?" And to me, it's like, as an adult, like, you gotta see the signs. I don't care how drunk you is, but it's like, what? Where's my mom?
The adults are dumb. The
Right,
adults are dumb.
right. And then you hear a
Yes.
scream. Oh, that's my mom. What? Like, two on two
No
ain't adding enough.
urgency. Like, no, that's my mom. Your
What?
mom's streaming. Like, you. And I'm so happy you touched on that, because I was just like, all the adults are done, bro. Like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, some weird kid, no emotion. You, what did he say? Something about the kids with a straight face. He's like, and I'm just the gist of it. Oh, you have a way with kids. Straight face, no emotion, just looking creepy, coming out the woods. Oh, that's a weird
Then he
thing.
even said, that's weird for a kid to say. Nigga, red flag,
Duh.
red balloon in this instance. Like, well, what?
Duh. I mean, yeah. And then yeah, I lost my mom. Okay. He was like, and then it was funny because Bob was like, oh, okay. Then the kid's like, the scream, oh, that's my mom. Oh, well, I guess let me go. I'm like, bro, you deserve what you get. My gripe with that is, I wish we would have saw him going to the woods. Cause you say he ate him. I'm like, why didn't y'all show that? I would have liked to seen that. I'm sorry, I may be sick, but show me. Um, and I guess because they're supposed to be going, this is what I heard, they're supposed to be going back 27 years each season. So we're gonna get that. I guess maybe they're saving that for, because if it's 27 years prior, we probably are gonna get more of that backstory with how he took that form. So I'm hoping that's why we didn't see it. I know at the time I was like, dang, I would have liked to see, shoot, him go show him up in the woods,
I mean,
getting
they showed
eaten. Let me
everything
see
else.
that.
I mean, shit.
You're right. You showing everything else. Let me see him take the form of Pennywise. I want to see it. So that was my only gripe with the backstory and stuff. Because I when I tell you I was waiting, I don't know why I was so fascinated with just seeing why he decided to choose the form of Pennywise. Like, I knew it was because it had something to do with kids appealing to clowns and stuff. But I just really wanted to see that. So it was a little bit underwhelming for me, just because I was like, dang, like, it was almost like, I know the adults are dumb, but it was almost like, come on, bro. Like, really? Really? It would have been, for me, it would have been more convincing if like, we get, okay, the kid's weird, but it was almost kind of like, something ain't right here. Like too stoic. Like if your mom is streaming, why you not crying? You just standing there like straight face. I just wish they would have done that just a little bit better for me. So yeah.
I mean, but that's good if that's the route they plan on taking, whatever. So that means they'll
Yeah.
be going, 27 years back, then another 27 years back. So it'll
Hmm.
be cool to see that. But
Yeah.
I guess my thing is, so that'll only be what 60 years. So we probably won't see nothing like you know Egyptian time or yeah, nothing like that again.
Yeah.
See that, and
Yeah.
that would be the caveat for me because I'm like, okay, are they gonna try to bring historical references in there if they plan on going that route like the Pied Piper was, it wants the Pied Piper and whistling and making kids come with him or whatever, or is
Yeah.
his character based off of the Pied Piper or whatever have you? That's another question I'd
Oh,
like to know, but I would assume every 27 years, whatever form he took previously had to been something that was appealing to kids, maybe. But like I said, even with the kid form that he had it wasn't appealing at all. It was just stoic, stone face, like who you catching with that? But Bob Gray dumbass got caught. But I mean, either way it go,
right.
either way it go, you know.
Yeah, and then to your point, to your point, I don't. So they did touch on when he first, I guess, got to Derry, and but I don't know the timeline with the Native Americans because when you said Egyptians, I thought about it. I'm like, well, he did get there when the Native Americans, but then we don't know what year that was either. If they mentioned it, I don't. It could have been the 1700s, could have been the 1500s, it could have been the 1300s. We don't know. So
That's
that's
another
another
thing.
thing.
So
So
it's
it's
like
like,
them
them
going
going
back
back
so
so far,
far.
it's like, how far is that when he first came here?
I mean, to your point, it might actually be 1700 because there's one form
Mm,
he took of a white man,
yep,
some type of
you're right.
politician or something like that or whatever.
Yeah,
But whatever form
absolutely
that
right.
is, whatever form that is, he knew it was a fear to the Indians or whatever
Yeah,
have you. So I'm thinking, yeah,
yeah,
maybe 1700s is when I ain't gonna say when he touched down because if he's supposed to be before everything, I don't know that throws me off when they say he's before everything because that period he was in had to been around the 1700s, and that's when they
yeah,
say he crashed and they took those shards
yeah,
and placed them around to kind of cage him in. And to the Indians' credit, like they were cool, but they were the type to sit on the sidelines. Like we did the work to cage them in there. Whatever the fuck happened in there, it ain't got nothing to do with us because once you go back, that's 27 years apiece, essentially.
right.
And
And
I'm
I'm
just
just
like,
like, nah. Why would y'all let them build? Y'all just let people build a whole little town right in where y'all blocked everything off at. Y'all couldn't tell people. Y'all didn't just say nothing. I guess they figured, shoot, y'all kicked us out of our land. We ain't gonna say nothing. I'm like, dang, like, could y'all make the area smaller, or did they were just going off of an estimate? I don't know, but I'm just like, why? Just everyone's just effing up in this show. I'm just like, and even with that, I'll say something threw me off about that whole episode too. I don't know exactly what it was. There was one thing, and it's just a small, maybe little petty thing, but when the Indian girl said "mom," that threw me off because I'm like, why are we saying mom in the 1700s? It just threw me off. It's a small thing, but it took me out of the immersive element of the show. And I was just kind of like, mother, y'all could have wrote mother. Mom, I'm like, what is this? This is not present day, or you know what I'm saying? So that threw me off. And then also, I just felt like I feel like the episode just could have been written a little bit better for me. I can't really. There's not a specific thing. I just wasn't something that just didn't pull me in like the other episodes. I don't know what it is. I can't really explain it. I don't know. Yeah.
it was definitely just a lot kind of going on with that because I feel like they kind of rushed through, kind of showing us what was going on with that, try to pack it into one episode, which, like I said, we needed more of that. But like I said, to your point, maybe for the next seasons they'll kind of show what's been going on because even Pennywise himself has said like he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. So everything's the same to him, the past, present, and the future or whatnot. So,
Yeah.
I'm thinking when it comes to, this Indian culture, I ain't gonna say it's the same, but they're essentially the gatekeepers, so, and
Mhm.
then they even, like, so just kind of, it'd be kind of interesting to know what that timeline is because beforehand, it's like, before y'all caged him, what was he doing before then? You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
I don't know. Definitely some
Yeah,
holes.
exactly. And then to just because we're talking about the Indians, I did think that was wild to show the general as when he was a kid, and that that whole thing. I'm like, and I'm not gonna jump too far ahead because we'll get to that, and I'll tie it all. We'll both tie it back to the beginning. But I'm just like, I don't understand how the general thought this was gonna play out. I really don't. And it's always just some idiot thinking that they can control. You can't control this thing. This is a I don't we don't even know what this it really is. Like honestly, dude opens up his mouth and it's just bunch of cosmic energy and stuff. So how you think you about to control this thing? You can't. But there's always somebody that thinks he can. And like you when you had made the post and I was just like I don't understand how he thought this made sense. You in your head, and I'm like, what are you doing? Oh yeah, we need to release. This is what the people need. They, huh, huh, huh.
I mean, and to that point, they say whenever you leave there, you forget everything, but then when you come back, some of those memories come rushing back. But I don't. What I'm gonna say is, I don't know how quickly they rush back because my thing is, speaking on the general's behalf, we seen his timeline. They showed us when he was a boy. They showed us when he met the Indian girl or whatnot, and how she pretty much
Yeah.
saved him from getting ate by it. And
Hmm.
with that being said, I feel like with you having that knowledge, you knew what happened to you. You knew this man was trying to take you out. Why would you feel like, oh, I can control you? Nah, yeah, nah. I think I can control you. No, you barely got out. Shorty helped you get out. You barely got out, but you feel like, hey,
Okay.
nah, I'm gonna come back. I can control them. So that's what I question as well. Like, how much memory do they really regain? Because he had enough
Hmm.
memory to remember old girl. Now they both older. Like, hey, yeah, I remember when you saved me. I remember that summer we had and blah 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 whatever. So if you remembered all that, common sense will tell you you can't control this thing. Like
Hmm.
moving a barrier, and then what? You're not gonna control that man. So that was just interesting in itself. But one thing I did want to touch base on with the fair, I had questions about the fair because from what we knew, Bob Gray died, right? So,
Yeah.
and I say that, but it was still intertwined in the fair. So my question, or at least my thought was he still performing like he was Bob Gray and sneaking and eating kids or whatever? Or was he essentially running the whole fair? You know what I mean? Like shape shifting in the different forms, throughout the whole fair. That's one thing that I kind of question or whatever because old girl said all the Carnegies and stuff got together. It was like, oh, he's gone, he's dead. So what happened to her? Like, did she end up leaving the fair? But then it in himself was still there and not as Pennywise. I don't know. It was some loopholes in that for me because it's like,
Yeah.
how's he still in the fair and all that? And we knowing that Bob Gray died. That was questionable to me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
No, that's a good point because I was about to say, well, maybe the daughter was helping, but no, we saw when she was working at the insane asylum, and she was hearing the girl say something about Pennywise. She was like, "Oh, my daddy, what?" And so what? Probably, and we don't know what they plan on doing next season, where maybe they'll explain that. But I'm with you. I'm like, now, was he just in clown form the whole time? And did he go to Bob Gray form? I don't know how he would. I'm assuming he can shapeshift, so maybe he had a way of doing it. I don't know. But then it's kind of like, well, how was he able to like hide that up that the truth, like eating the kids and all this other? Did his daughter see anything? And then what made him sort of retreat and go away, essentially, like from being in the circus and all this other stuff, to where his daughter didn't see him anymore. That's more questions. Maybe they'll touch on that. So I'm with you. That's really a good point, because I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, maybe the daughter was helping him out, but I don't think she wasn't helping him until she was older and after she had heard the girl talking about him. So that's a good question. I want to know that too. Hopefully they touch on that, the next season, because I mean, they got a lot of material to go off of. I mean, a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
that was my biggest gripe there. Was just trying to kind of figure out what was going on with that or whatever. But you know, moving on from that point or whatnot, when it came to um, Lily still kind of struggling, thinking whether or not Maddie was still alive and whatnot, and
Yeah.
you know, it was just weird because, like I said, in the movies, yeah, there's a possibility for a kid to still be alive and friends come save them or whatever. But in this one, it just wasn't. He was just fucking with him, like, hey, I make you think he's still alive. He ain't alive. I'm just trying to get y'all lured out here or whatnot. And then what was funny to me is when it came to Lily and the new crew, which was Lily, Ronnie, Will, and Rich that got introduced as well or whatnot. You know, they were getting to the point where they was trying to find proof of it or whatever. And this is where I say it's confusing because it hadn't even really shown itself yet. The girl that thinks that's her dad was still out here just roaming around and being around them, trying to get basically just trying to get it to appear because she know he eat kids. Like that's
Yeah.
she had been helping him to get kids all this time. So that was just really messed up to me. But the whole scene when they was in the cemetery and all that stuff was like some haunted mansion type shit. You had all these ghosts and stuff popping out, and it was a funny episode, or at least that portion of it.
Yeah, that episode to me too. That was another one of the episodes where I kind of was like, because to me the CGI was a little off too, in my opinion, in that episode as well too. And I kind of just like I was like with you, I was kind of like, this episode is a little. And then even I cracked up because once it was revealed that that was actually this crazy chick, I cracked up. I was like, so you just dressed in clown costume, just wandering around in the cemetery, man. What are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? And then Will pissed me off because my whole thing is, dude, you hear something, all right? You know it's out there. You hear something, you go inside with the tomb. What? What? Like, I'm just like, typically, us black people, we ain't going in there. We hear some, we out. But he walked in there. I'm like, well, you know what, Will? Hey,
And
whatever happens,
Will's
happens.
supposed to be the smartest one of the group.
Okay, I'm not waiting around to hear nothing. I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm out. You no, absolutely not. We running. But no, he walked towards the thing and I'm like, they waiting, and because at this point I'm like, well, they already showed us that no one's safe. So I was like, honestly, I don't know if Will coming back. Cause I mean at this point, I don't know. But he came back. I was like, well, it spared him for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, but that's when my gears started to turn. I'm like, this can't be it, because I was like, nah, like, because like I said, with the first episode out the gate, how he was killing the kids and stuff like that, I was like, ain't no way Will went in there and made it out. Because at first I was kind of concerned about Will. I'm like, is he still Will? Like, like I wasn't for sure, but yeah, like when he went back to go get the camera and everything, and I understand the importance of the camera. Trust me, I understand the importance, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nah, it ain't worth it. But then too, I will
Okay.
say this: Will was still trying to figure out if this was what it was. Like you could still tell he was still trying to figure out if all this was real or whatever have you. So maybe that was one of those things where he felt like, okay, I'm not totally 100 on this, but I'm gonna go here and get this camera so we can get this proof to say
Yeah.
otherwise or whatever. But that's what that was, with that scene and everything like that. But yeah, that
It's
was
just funny because it said watch this, and the picture, the image was gone. So I mean, like, they went through all that for really nothing. I'm like, well, dang. I had a feeling though. I'm like, they ain't about to get. They may see it now, but once they bring it to the freaking racist cop, which that's another thing. I was like, this image about to be gone. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
so.
ahead.
this is something I found out. Not only was this cop racist, that man was gay too. I didn't know that. So
What?
apparently, if I'm from what I was hearing, apparently that was some type of. I'm not gonna say it was some type of gay bar, but essentially I think that's what it was. I gotta go back and look. Don't quote me on it, but that's what I heard.
No.
Apparently that was some type of gay bar or whatever. And he didn't want the black folks in there essentially. So on top of being racist, he was in this bar and didn't want him there. Hey, I'm,
Shoot, they should have added that in the show. That
that's
would
what
have
I'm
been
saying. I
some
need to
extra
find out
tea.
more. I need to find out more, but that's what I was hearing. So it wasn't just the fact that the black people were in the bar, it was just the fact that it was a gay bar as well. But that was the only bar they could go to because apparently they couldn't go nowhere else. And that
Mm,
now that makes sense. If they couldn't go nowhere
dang.
else, now that makes sense. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dang. And I'm like, well, if that is the case, they should have added that in there because that would have added an extra layer of like, man, you over here just being judgy and you got your own stuff going on. You out here being racist. You gay, which is not a problem, but it's like you being discriminating against other people. It's like, what are we doing? And that's another thing. This dude, but you know what? Typically, and it could just be because I'm black. A lot of times when they add the racism and stuff in the shows, it sometimes hit a nerve with me, and I get like pissed off. Which I did still get pissed off, honestly, with the whole burning of the club. But um, I thought that I like that they did add the elements in there because the whole the what am I trying to say? The time frame or the date the date and the time that it took place in the show, I thought it was good that they added some realism in there because I'm like, it is we're in the 60s, so it needs to be in here. But I thought they handled it well with the racist cops. He's like, I'm worried about, they people starting to look at me like, why haven't you caught the killer? They've already it's like they want somebody to blame because they're for one they're upset that they babies got killed, which is understandable. I get it, but who's the easiest target? A black man, because he was out there when he had no business being out there, so we gonna blame him. Then he's like, well, these people are looking at me like, what's going on? We told you who it was. Or when maybe you don't need to be in the position that you in. So we need to get rid of you. You either do something or we getting rid of you. So this dude, like, okay, well now I'm pressing the black guy. We ain't got no solid evidence, but I'm pushing the black guy. And then he just took a left. I'm like, at first I kind of was like, well, he probably is a piece of shit, but at least he's like, well, we ain't got no I don't got no evidence on this black guy. Then it turned into, well, I'm just gonna pull something out my ass at this point.
Well, no, I mean, essentially, that's how he started. He pretty much felt like he did everything he could do on the matter or whatnot,
Mhm.
and the powers that be was pushing him on it, like, hey, like, we need somebody where we need somebody to take the fall for this or whatever. But the whole time he like, but there's no evidence. I don't have him
Mhm.
on anything and blah 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 or whatever have you. But they kept pushing him and pushing him to the point he was like, all right, bet, we about to book him. We gonna put it all on him and go from there or whatnot. But yeah, that whole thing just kind of just went so left or whatever. But like I said again, that character, what was his name? Hank Grogan. He just pissed me off, bro. Like you got the whole city in turmoil because you want to get a piece of white ass. Like, come on, man.
It was crazy. It was crazy when because at first I thought they were gonna go, maybe he was gay and maybe he didn't want that to come out. That's what I thought, and that's why I was waiting on. But when he said that, I was like, bro. And then it's crazy how the person it was, and I'm like, she don't even care about you. Like that's the crazy thing about, like, bro, you up here fighting for your life. You got your daughter fighting for her life. Cause of y'all doing all this stuff, y'all don't got an innocent kid killed. Like, man, he pissed me off. He really pissed me off. I was just so just like, bruh. And not even the whole, cause I want to make this clear. Love who you want to love. That's not what I'm talking about. Cause I'm just saying it just pissed me off that he did something that caused a lot of people hurt and pain and issues, and it be all because of what he did. It's just like, bro, come on.
Yeah, I mean, nah, for real, because I mean, as a parent, you out here running these streets, hiding and all this shit or whatever, because you trying to hide this affair that you having with this woman or whatnot. You have a child at home, bro. Like, that shit don't really matter for real. Like, if that's the case, then boom, let that be that. But you got your daughter at home crying, trying to figure out what's going on with you. She don't know your story and shit like that or whatever. Whole time it's all because you messing with this chick that supposedly, well, not supposedly, but has a husband. So he has, not only is he messing with this woman, there's an affair, and then he don't know she crazy for real. Even though I feel like he fucked in a clown suit a time or two. I don't know. I'm just saying.
We don't,
I
yeah,
don't
at
know.
this point.
But ain't no way. It just it brought
At
out
this point,
crazy.
I don't put none past dude. He probably already damn near knew, probably peeped it out the side of his eyesight and saw the clown suit hanging on the wall. So we don't even know at this
Right.
point. Like,
Not at this point. But the fact that he didn't
like,
die, the fact that he didn't die the way he was moving, just it it kills me. Like, there's no way you should have died.
just got away.
Yeah.
Like, just easy peasy, just off to Canada, living life. I'm just like, after all the you literally you left Derry in shambles, my dude. Just, I mean, you did as much, damn near as much damage to Derry as it did at this point. I'ma just say it. Like, you just moving reckless. I'm like, at that time period, you know you ain't supposed to be doing stuff like that. You know, for at least if you don't think about yourself, think for the sake of your family. You know what they do to black people doing stuff like that? Just come on, man. Love who you want to love, of course, but come on, think of your family. Think of the white men that's like you. And then my whole thing is, it's like you put such an easy target on yourself. They looking like, well, he was out there, so we need to pin it on him. Of course he did it. And I'm like, man, man, he had me so hot. He had me so hot, so hot, so hot. But there's one person we did not mention yet. What's his name? Halloran. I think it was Halloran. That's his last name. But the psychic dude. What did you? Okay,
Dick
what
Halloran,
did you
yeah.
think about him? I liked his character. He pissed me off, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna tell you about why he pissed me off.
So my views on Halloran, like Halloran is one of those people. He has these powers. He essentially he essentially doesn't know. I ain't gonna say he doesn't know what to do with his powers, but he has these powers, right? And then with that, he's been told like, oh, he's a special person and all this shit or whatever have you. But whole time, in the beginning, in my opinion, Dick Halloran really wasn't shit. Like he's one of those people. He got these talents, and he shouldn't have these talents, but he has these talents. But he was moving shifty like from the beginning of the show or whatever have you. Because even when he met Leroy Hamlin or whatnot, he was kind of off about him and whatnot, kind of give him that side look like, oh, another nigga in power and blah blah blah. Like, you ain't special, nigga. I'm special. That's the vibe he gave off in the beginning or whatever have you.
Yeah.
But then when you delved into what he was doing and things of that nature and the stuff he was dealing with internally, it's like, okay, I get why you kind of fucked up now because there's a lot to deal with, especially with him dealing with the voices of the dead and stuff like that, things that he tried to lock away and whatnot. So getting into his character, it was refreshing, and then to find out what he becomes later on throughout the Stephen King universe is just like wow to me. But outside of that,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
Hmm.
outside of that, though, I mean, when it counted, he did what he needed to do. But when people need him outside of that, otherwise, he was real lackadaisy about helping or doing what needed to be done.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. For sure, for sure. I'm with you. Is like when we actually people needed you, dude. It was like pulling teeth. I'm like, but when the general asks you do stuff, you go and do it. That's really got me. And even with the scene, I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but the scene with Rich and a girl with the one eye, that pissed me off. I'm like, how you gonna let a few pieces of wood stop you from going in the freaking to go get them kids? Like, I'm like, you could have. And then the crazy thing about it, he wasn't even gonna do it after he had to think about it, right? And I'm like, what are we doing? Maybe if you had hurried up and went in there, you would have got to him before the freaking part of the ceiling fell. It's just it was a lot of stuff that pissed me off about him, and I'm just like, bruh. And my whole thing is, it's like you. And I guess it's because it was the time. I guess he felt like he's getting perks by doing this. Some, if you can call them that, I guess in his eyes, were kind of perks from the military. You know, he got certain privileges or whatever. But it's like, at what cost, though? Like literally, at what cost? You literally are disposable to these people. Literally, when it comes down to it, like I feel like if it they kept him as long as it was beneficial for them. And it's like after you're no longer used to them, I mean, it's like they just using you. But you know what? It's a testament to the character being written. I think we posted was looking at him like sort of like that gray area sort of character where it's kind of like, you know, he starts out and you're kind of like, he's trying to play both sides, and then it's kind of like he kind of has like a little mini arc or whatever, and where he did come through at the end as much as he could have. He tried. Oh, and that was another. Oh, I'm not jumping too far ahead, but I had to say this because it cracked me up. Because it was a lot of comedic moments that I don't think was supposed to be funny, but it was anyway. But when he was manipulating it when they were in the van at the end, and it was he slapped him. He was I guess masking himself as the dude that was in the tent. It looked down. He was like, it was like a black hand. He's like, wait a minute now. I'm like, that junk cracked me up. I'm like, I know this ain't supposed to be funny, but this is funny. This is funny. Like, dude, you missed the spot. Like, come on now.
Since we already here, since you bring that point up or whatever, it kind of pissed me off at the same time as well. It's like, so you mean to tell me, you got this man caged up in his mind or whatnot? You making him damn near almost believe he human, like slap shit out of him, which was like, okay, chef's kiss, like damn, you slapped it, like that motherfucker was so stunned, he looked at us in the camera like, damn, I just got slapped, like yeah, you just got hit. But with all that being said, had not Halloran been black, he probably would have been none the wiser. Had Halloran been a white dude, you wouldn't have seen no change. But because he was a black ass dude at that, boom, there it is. Like, damn, man.
I was like, damn it,
you had him.
Halloran.
You had him.
I'm like, damn it, you
Yeah.
had him. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know what happened there. I'm like, I don't know if he just couldn't mask the whole thing, but I'm like, you missing a spot. Like, come on. How you missed the hand? Like, come on. I cracked up. And that's
Well,
another
no,
thing.
he had it, but somebody moved the damn truck and shook
Oh,
shit up.
and it
So yeah,
shifted
so he
him, and
had
then
it.
it
Yeah,
just
nah,
flew off his
he
throat.
slapped
Yeah,
him with a
yeah.
white ass
Okay,
hand, but when the
okay,
shit shake,
okay.
shit
I
got
won't be too
distorted.
hard on him then.
Yeah,
Okay,
nah,
okay, okay, okay. That
yeah,
makes sense. Cause
you
I'm like,
lagging.
bruh. But and since we at this part too, I why does Pennywise play so much? Like even the part where this dude is like skipping and galloping at the end, that cracked me up in slow motion at that. Dude had no urgency. He's like playing at this point. I'm like, that probably what messed you up. You probably would have been on out of here if you had to just ran and stopped playing and or sprouted wings before waiting to the last minute. And then the other part with the daughter, and I guess he said I had enough of this chick. Like I'm trying to we got a good agreement here. I'm trying to play like daddy. When this chick grabbed him and said, "No, you leave it be," it turned around and said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to see you doing too much at this point." I was cracking up. I was like, this show is so unserious at this point. I mean, I was cracking up. I loved it, but it was funny.
So y'all, just for context, she's talking about when they were at the juke joint, right?
Yeah.
So they chilling at the juke joint. The military base and brought a couple of people over. They having a good time or whatever. And to her point earlier, that's when the chief police and a bunch of other white folks came and they was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we want Hank. We need him to come up out of there or whatever have you."
Yeah.
And they was like, "Nah, we don't know what you talking about." And Slick, I feel like Dick Halloran was about to snitch. Like he was about to say, "Nah, he right here. Like get his ass up out of here," because he didn't want him in there in the first place because he knew what trouble Hank was gonna bring or whatever. But getting into it or whatnot, they came in. They came in with guns or whatever, and they just, for some reason, they just felt like this military base, which it was off the military base, but even still, they just figured they weren't strapped. Come to find
Yeah,
out, like, oh, we are military
that was
personnel. We
hard.
all got guns.
That was
You know,
hard.
yeah, that was hard as hell. I was like, yeah, nah, fuck around and
That was
find out. Like, we
okay.
all got guns. Like,
Okay, brothers, all
right.
right.
You know, so whole time then Hank finally come out, hey man, I'm here. Go ahead and take me. I said, nigga, you should have did this 2, 3 episodes ago. Ain't no point you doing that now. 2, 3 episodes ago, you should have came out like, hey, take me. But now we here. You know, you know, then that little crew slides out. They're like, hey, y'all got it. You know, we'll get at you some other time. We got you some other time. So you know, they slide out there, or whatever, and you think shit sweet. Now next thing you know, they unlocked all the entry points out of the juke joint or whatnot. They were like, yeah, we just gonna burn this motherfucker down with kids inside, mind you. They let the
Mm-hmm.
white girl go that was in there
Mm-hmm.
singing, but they said the other kids, the black kids, and this what you call it, Spanish kid, yeah, nah, y'all gotta go. Y'all gonna stay in here and burn. So you know they lit that mug up or whatever, and then like I said, to her point, um, Marge, you know, the one that think that it is not Marge, Ingrid, the one that thinks you know that it is her father or whatever. She purposely did that. She purposely knew shit was gonna go down there, and there was gonna possibly be a lot of killing, a lot of fear, and all that shit. And she was just waiting for it to be there. So it come in there strolling, boy. I'm talking about a pimp strut. Whole building burning down. You got a lady on the floor just scared out her mind, crying and shit like that. It like, hey, what's up, baby? Hey, come on, give me a hand. Hey, eat her ass in the middle of all this fire. You got people running around trying to, yeah, you got people running around trying to get out. You got them shooting back at them outside and shit like that. Howling
That was
almost out the door. That
that
was
was
just a lot of
crazy.
crazy shit going on. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, to your point with Ingrid or whatever, she just felt like for sure that it was her dad, and that nigga was like, he even let her hug her, which I thought was wild as fuck. I'm like, you let her hug you?
Oh, well, she out of here, but he didn't.
Nah.
She was straight until she pulled. At that point, I think he said, "I had enough of this. Like I had enough. Like I tried to play along. I don't give you. I gave you a hug. Really? Like
Man,
it looked disgusted. Like
discuss this shit. Like, how dare you? How dare how dare you? I let you
oh,
live and you touch me? Nah, you gotta go up out of here. And
uh,
then not
I'm
only to
surprised he
mention
just
that,
gave her the deadlights. I'm shocked. I thought he was gonna eat her.
yeah, I thought, I mean, cause man was still hungry. Like, even though he said he about to go sleep, he like, I like he wanted to bite shot. Like, he ready to let her go. But you know, funny thing was, before he even stepped to her, he killed her husband right there in front of her. Which, you know,
Mhm.
I feel like in the back of his head, he felt like that would please her, and she would
Yeah,
basically shut the fuck up and let him do what he need to do.
yeah,
But
yeah.
right, but that wasn't the case or whatever. So you know, he sliced his head open, eating in front of her, and she's still looking at him, thinking like, "This is my dad." Like, no, you see him eating a
No,
whole half a head in front of you, and you think that's still your dad. Like, nah. You know, then he was
it
like,
was
yeah, I'm
crazy.
finna go sleep. I'm tired. Nah, I'm tired. No, don't leave me. Bitch, what? He was like, you touched me.
Oh my God. The whole scene was so unserious, man. It was just so unserious. And I mean that in the funniest way. I'm not saying like it was a bad scene. It just was so funny because it was just like you said, you described the whole thing. I'm just killing the husband, eating on his man's head like a freaking grapefruit, just chewing on it. And I'm just sitting there like she's unfazed because I mean she been abused by this guy, so I'm sure she don't give a damn. She just like whatever. I'm just like, what is really happening? But since we're on, we just all over the place. Forgive us, we just excited. But when you brought up the jute joint, that was a really good episode, and I forgot about. For some reason, it just I forgot about the episode, but that was a really good episode, and I just want to make that point because it was just the fact that they had. There was a few things, and I'm just being super petty about it, and I'll bring that up in a few. But I love the scene where it's just chaos and the cop, sheriff, whoever he was, just they shut down everything with a group of people and they just shooting people in the head. And it's in there now too, eating on folks. And I thought it was just crazy because all those black people, I think it was probably like what was it like one other girl that survived? But I think everybody, especially the military dudes, everybody died, which was crazy. That joint was crazy. That was wild. That was wild. Yeah. 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 I sure did. And and this is the thing, I'm with you on that because my whole thing is she didn't join the group until what we had like 2 episodes left. So at that point, I'm with you. I didn't give a damn. I'm like, and honestly, I won't say I was hoping, but if she had a guy. I wasn't gonna care. I'm like, at this point, I felt like she was because I'm like, this whole time she's been a fake friend and playing both sides and stuff. And I thought that was messed up how and she got what she deserved. That's why that little eye gone now. That's why that eye gone. But hers trying to set up Lily. And I'm like, what is up with this chick? Um, but I mean, and they could have had that little arc, but for me to give a damn about her, they probably should have had that arc a couple episodes before, not having it 2 episodes at the end. Because I'm like, okay, she probably supposed to be part of this group. I'm supposed to care, because I don't. And then with Richie, I'm just like, what? It's been like a what? I want to say I don't know what the time span between the two last episodes was, but I'm like, at that point, I'm like, how well do you know this person to be laying down your life for? But I'm just like, I digress. I mean, it just testament to, I guess, who Richie was, and it pissed me. Honestly, the whole damn thing pissed me off. It pissed me off. It gave me, somebody made a good point online saying it gave them Titanic vibes where they were saying, as small as Richie is, he could have got in there with her. But people were saying it reminds them of Titanic with Rose and Jack. Like both people could have fit on the damn thing. And I'm like, you know what? He probably could have squeezed his little bitty self up in there. But that whole thing pissed me off. Out of all people,
And,
Rich.
and people was talking big shit too. They was like, "How they get a camera in there, but Rich can get up in there?" I was like, "Look, y'all, it's come on,
You
it's the
are
show, man."
stupid. Yo, that is funny. That is funny. Facts.
Man,
Facts.
I said, "Hey, look, it's the show, man. Like, for what we know, there was no room for this man. Leave it at that." But they were like, "Nah, you got a camera in there. My man's could have got in there." But
You know another good point? You
what's
know
up?
another good point? There was windows in there too. Why he didn't just climb out a window?
Well, they was
Why he
shooting.
couldn't
They
just
was
climb out
shooting
a
at the
window?
windows. Remember,
Were
like,
they still shooting at that time when he laid
well,
across
I don't
on
know if they were
top?
still shooting at that time, but they was definitely shooting at the windows. You know, cause like you
Oh,
had
that's
people busting
what
shots, plow, busting shots, plow. Like it was wild out there because I will say before Halloran got everybody down in like the little underground tunnel thing or whatever, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I was like, damn, y'all could have gotten the fridge, but I forgot that got blocked off with the debris, like that blocked them off or whatever, and both of them,
Yeah.
they couldn't get in there. But I was like, yeah, that would have been a more optimal place to hide into was the fridge versus the little freezer or whatnot. But hey, writing is writing.
Yeah.
They had to write it how they had to write it.
Yeah, and that was another thing I'm just gonna contribute to. They probably they had to have us have a emotional moment with Rich because I'm pretty sure they knew Rich was gonna be like one of the popular characters. I'm like, Rich should have been burnt to a crisp. Y'all damn know that Rich should not have been fully intact like that. But I was like, I'm just being petty, and I know they had to do that for the emotional thing. But outside of that, I just was like, out of all people. And then my whole thing is that's why I said in the beginning, they went so hard out the gate. They should have killed off at least one more person. I'm like, y'all just gonna kill off Rich and that's it. Everybody else just get to go home. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, nah, yeah, they definitely could have took another one out or whatever. I don't know who it could have been. No, I already know who it could have been. You definitely could have took out Mars. I would have been okay. But outside of that, like nah, it's
Lily
just
could have gone. Lily could have left. I'm sorry, I didn't really care. Lily could have left.
Lily was going through it, man. And then like with Lily, it's like she was finding her own battle essentially. Like she was going through it, with the death of her father and shit like that or whatever. She was just going
Well,
through it or whatever. But
yeah.
I felt for her in a way, but like you said, she went. It was like, it's all good. I hate it for you. And then and and then Ronnie was a good character, but sometimes she kind of had mixed emotions or whatever. When it came to her dad, she wanted to get her dad and blah blah blah, but at the same time, there were some instances where I'm just like, your dad not really caring. Like, you're over here with your grandma, and he out here running the streets trying to, right? Yeah, running the streets trying to go back to the one that got him in trouble for whatever reason. I mean,
Hmm.
that's not a here or there, but even with that being said or whatnot. But I mean, outside of that, when it came down to everything happening in that scene or whatnot, and just really the dynamic between Dick Halloran and it, because you got to think about when Dick Halloran first got into, I guess, its mind. It was like, who the fuck is you?
Hmm.
Like I can see, I can see you, right? I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then Halloran was
He was
like,
like,
nah, he wasn't never
you're not
supposed to see.
supposed to see
Yeah,
it.
he said he
Uh-huh.
wasn't never supposed to see me. Like
Yeah,
that
that
wasn't
was
part of the
hard.
contract. Like he see me now. Oh shit. Like you
That
know,
was crazy.
yeah, that
I
was
was like, oh,
crazy. Because not only is it shapeshifter, he a mentalist as well. So if you in his mind, he
uh-huh.
like, the fuck we doing? Like, are you on my
Yeah.
level or not? Like, where we at?
Uh-huh.
You know.
Uh-huh.
So their back and forth was just always just kind of crazy to me or whatever, because like I said, on Dick Halloran's character or whatnot, his main thing that really fucked him up was hearing the dead. And I guess with him is hearing the dead would mean there were certain dead folks he didn't want to hear from, or some with ill intentions or whatever have you, or
Yeah.
maybe it was more so spirits that didn't handle whatever they need to handle or whatever. That's what I'm starting to think. Now I think more about it or whatever. But
Yeah.
basically, it jumped into his mind, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, this box you've been trying to keep closed. I'm about to open that bitch." I was like, "Wait, what? You gonna come in somebody else's subconscious and open some shit they don't want open?" I said, "No, you ain't finna do that." He's like, "Nah, nigga, I'm finna open it." Wow. And next thing you know, Halloran just losing his shit, just seeing dead every which way, and I'm like, "Damn." I was like, "Man, I
Honestly,
hate
I
it
don't
for him."
expect nothing less from if he's supposed to be this all powerful entity. I honestly don't expect nothing less. It's like shoot. And like you said, when he turned around and was like, the fuck? Like and Halloran was like, he's not supposed to see me. What the actual fuck? Like I'm like, honestly, yeah. I'm here for it because I mean, if he's supposed to be this all powerful, can see the present, the past, the future all coincides in one. He's like, I've seen this, and he's over here telling so and so, your son and his group of friends in me. They kill me, so I need to end you. I'm like, at this point, this dude should be able to see your ass up in there. Like at this point, there ain't nothing should be able to get past it. Like honestly, so I was here for it. I was here for it. I was like, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, he see you. He definitely see you. And when he started effing with him, I'm like, yeah, mm-hmm. You scared now, huh? Yep. Yep. But touching on Halloran since we talking about him, I thought it was really cool to see because also we missed out talking about dang it, I hate that I don't know his name right off the top of my head, but it was the Indian guy. I think his mom, not the mom, I think it was like his aunt that was friends with the general when they were kids, and Halloran tapped in his mind as well too to try to figure out where the the artifacts were that they put down to keep it barricaded inside of Derry. I thought that was cool to see how he can get in someone's mind. That was dope because I didn't know his powers went to that extent. So I thought that was cool. And I thought it was interesting that they used like someone that could tap into, like, I don't know if you would really call him unless they touched on it. I don't know if he's not really like a psychic. I don't know what you would call what he does, but I thought it was cool that they utilized something like utilize someone like him to get the answers that they needed to try to find out, okay, how can we get to it? How can we control them? Blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Halloran essentially is just a telepath or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but I think it's more to it than him just being a telepath. It's more to him and his character because a telepath shouldn't really necessarily be communicating with the dead. So it's more to his power than just being a telepath. But the character you was talking about, his name is Daniel, and his mom is Rose. Yeah, so that's two characters there, or whatever have you. But funny enough, apparently they said when Halloran was tapping into Daniel's head, it was tapping into Halloran. Apparently, in that
Mm.
scene where Halloran goes like this and goes into Daniel's head, that was more of it than it was Halloran. So I feel like it kind of tried to uh, use more of Halloran's power to get in, Daniel's head to get more information, so you figure out how to break yourself free or whatever,
Oh.
So yeah, yeah, because they was just like that smile, whatever that smile Halloran made, they was like, yeah, nah, that was it. I was like, ugh,
Oh.
yikes.
That's interesting. That's interesting. See, people be paying attention to everything. That's interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised because I'm like, if he already kind of was like, who are the hell you doing in here? And then after that point, I'm pretty sure it was like 10 steps ahead. Like if he's knowing, and then also if he's already knowing things that are gonna happen, oh yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if he was like using Halloran to be like, let me tap into this too. Like, shoot, I want to find out too. So I thought that was really dope. And then also when and I think that's what you were talking about where it kind of tapped into Halloran too and was like, oh, I can mess you up too. And I think where they kind of showing his childhood and he went through some trauma too with his family or his dad. I'm like, dude, what's the dad was on some shit, like cussing the mom out and all this other stuff and like what? So that was crazy to see his trauma as well too. But I honestly, I really like the character of Halloran. He pissed me off, and I'm just speaking to the actor who portrayed him. Um, and like I was saying earlier, he kind of is like that gray area character. He's kind of like you either hate him or you love him, or it's like in between. So, but overall, I thought he was a good addition to the show. I enjoyed it. It was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
said, he had plenty of arcs throughout, and like I said, ended up coming to clutch, coming in clutch at the end or whatnot. But
yeah,
what was funny to me when we got to the end of the season is when it basically just dropped a bunch of mist or ice or whatever on the town or whatever have you, and everything just started going crazy or whatnot. And what was funny to me though is when he took control of the school and when he got on intercoms and stuff like that, why did he let the upperclassmen go, but all the lowerclassmen stayed? I just feel like kids are kids. What would it matter? But I feel like there was a reason for that where he let the upperclassmen go and he kept all the other kids. Because
that's a
that's
good question.
yeah, because that scene in itself was crazy. Because all the kids come to the
Mhm.
auditorium or whatever, and this nigga's basically got his hands in the whole principal. Principal already dead. He is using principal as a puppet and talking to the kids and saying like, "Hey, we got a show for you," and blah blah blah. Come out there,
Yeah.
start dancing and shit, and then just hit the whole crowd with the deadlights. I'm like, damn, you just really on some demon time. Like I just thought deadlights worked on one person, but you done did the whole goddamn auditorium or whatever.
Hmm.
And
That was hard
yeah,
too. That
that
was a
shit was
hard
crazy.
scene.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I was like, yeah, nah, this nigga is out for blood, like literally out for blood. Cause like, going back to what we said when he went to go to sleep and everything after he hit his daughter with the deadlights or whatnot. That's when they took that shard and tried to well, we don't jump so around. It's kind of hard to pinpoint
Right.
that. So, basically, what I'm gonna say to y'all is Halloran's whole objective was to find these pillars or to find whatever it was that was caging it, right? So they finally got a hold of that, and now these niggas like, oh yeah, we finna burn this pillar up so we can uncage it or whatever. Now essentially, we don't know what happened to that shard for real. We don't know if it melted or not. We, we just know it went into the molten lava or whatever, and it popped up like, oh shit, we got action. Like, mind
Right.
you, right? Mind you, this nigga is hibernating, soaking blood up to his mouth, and just, oh shit, boom, we got action. And and then he call up Will or whatever, act like he Ronnie or whatnot. Like, yeah, we putting Richard's stuff away and blah blah blah, and man, he tasted so good. And I was like, tasted so good. And I was like, wait a minute, I know you ain't eat Rich. Rich went out on his
Yeah, I
own
was
terms.
like, come on.
Yeah, and then just talking big shit, like just telling Will, like like
Really?
yeah, fuck with him. He like, I ain't scared of shit. The motherfucker sitting on top of the fridge. I can't hear you, bitch. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yo, the fact that and I don't, we can only assume because the next scene was him up in their kitchen. The fact that this nigga literally that showed up, Will's the first house he went to. Dude just perched on top of the fridge, like I got you now. But it was a good point. He been wanting Will. He been wanting Will. So that junk was funny talking about some dark meat. And I was like, dude, you
That shit
ready?
sent me. That shit sent me. That nigga said dark meat is twice as sweet. I said, nigga, what the fuck? Yo, that
Like,
sent me.
dude, what? That was crazy. That was funny. The funny thing about it is and the scary thing about it, he could have got Will right then and there if he really wanted to go ahead and eat him up. I don't know if he was just trying to savor Will until later. I don't know, but that he really could have got Will. That's the crazy thing about it. And I'm just sitting there like I don't know why if the military base, okay, is outside of the barrier. Didn't Leroy know that? So, and then I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I thought if they were saying, hey, we're gonna go on the base, you're safe here. Because I think the general did tell him that. Why did he allow the mom? And I think they got into it or something. The mom and Leroy. But my whole thing is, okay, F what we got going on. Okay, we gonna argue, whatever. But why would I would be like, no, y'all are not living in the town of Derry. We are safe here. I just felt like Will's parents, bro, and I have to put the dad in it too. Just and I know the dad, honestly, he was in on the stuff. He knew what was going on, but I'm just like, I wish he would have just fought. There's no reason Will should have been at home by himself. I'm sorry. Especially in Derry. You knew the you knew the circumstances. Why? Why?
I mean, and then like I said, to your point, this is fresh off of everybody dying at the juke joint. Why did you think it was okay to leave Will at the house? Because essentially, what they said was this nigga sleep. He ain't gonna fuck with y'all. Y'all go ahead and go about y'all day and shit like that or whatever. That's what they told them. So they figured they was cool. They was like, all right, cool. And like I said, that just takes me back to Hank. You know, you got the mom still trying to help out Hank and shit. Man, fuck Hank, man. Like, y'all got so much other shit going on. Hank need to figure out his own shit at this point. Cause what the hell, y'all just came into y'all just left from a bloodbath, and your main priority is to get Hank where he need to go. Nah, man, let
Mhm.
Hank figure that shit out, man. Like, shit crazy right now.
Exactly.
And then the girl he was
Exactly.
sleeping with, she psyched out. She even more psyched out now. So it's like, what the fuck really going on?
Exactly. I'm like, we got bigger things beyond this, okay? Beyond this. And that was another thing we didn't touch on too, and I almost forgot was a military mission. This mission. And I talked to my dad about it. My dad's a veteran. So I was like, Dad, how realistic this is? Of course it's not, obviously, but he was just like, man, yeah. He was like, and he was like, it's a show, obviously, but I'm just like, I get they were trying to be low key, but I'm like, if y'all, and maybe they didn't know what they were dealing with, but I'm like, the general had to have some type of inkling. This thing can shapeshift. Why did we think this was a good idea? Why don't we have the perimeter locked down? Why are we separating the group? Like, there's like a lot of things that I'm just not understand. Why I don't know, man. That whole thing, that was one of the episodes where I was just kind of like, I get it's a show, but it was just some things I'm like, them kids shouldn't have been able to get in there like that. I get y'all trying to be low key, but why wasn't the perimeter locked down? So you got Will and his friends down there. The dad's friend, best friend at that, gets killed in the crossfire because these yeah, in the sewers, yeah. Yeah, and trust me, I get it. I just felt like if this is supposed to be a military mission, why wasn't the perimeters just locked down a little bit? Like it's just why them kids just could get in there. And I know I talked to my dad about it. He was just like, well, it was leading them. He probably knew the way to get, evade. And I'm like, I get it. I get that too. So I get both sides.
I mean, mind you, Halloran almost popped his son, like because they was going through it in the sewers, like because Halloran pretty much had to tell his friend like, hey, if you see some weird shit, it probably ain't real. Take it out, whatever. And he was holding true to that until his son came around the corner. He was like, yeah, nah, hell nah, nigga, you ain't real, you ain't real. And then his friend was like, wait, we can both see him. Nah, that's your
Yeah.
son. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
not my boy,
Yeah.
not my boy. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was funny in itself or whatnot. But what I hated for Halloran
Yeah.
is he tried to follow. He's one of those characters. He tries to follow the rules, and following the
Yeah.
rules is what got him messed up. Because if we're being honest, they just kept giving him breadcrumbs of things that was going on. Because even in the
Mhm.
beginning, they didn't really tell him what his mission was. They just
Mhm.
told him, "Hey, we want you to fly for us." Okay, cool. That's no problem. I'm an airman.
Yeah.
I can fly for y'all or whatever. But then
Yeah.
step after step, after he finds something out, oh yeah, that's right, we meant to tell you that. Find something else out. Oh, we meant to tell you that. Like nigga, like they obviously don't give a fuck if you know or not. Like they you need to figure out what's going on. And then what killed me is after the whole mission in the sewer and shit like that, he come up there with a gun, with one gun at that. Like you ain't even coming there like Rambo. You came in there with one pistol. Like, hey, don't touch that shit. Don't burn it. What y'all doing? What's really going on? Did the general approve this and blah blah blah? It's like you got a room full of people in here working on this, and you think the general don't know about it? I was like, come on, man, come on, bruh. Come on.
Yep.
And then that's when the
Yep.
general made the reveal, like, oh yeah, no, this been my plan. We want to let him loose. And then that's what killed me as well because everyone kept saying the base was the safest place to be. If you unlock the cage, that base is no longer safe anymore. What are we doing here? So,
Mhm.
mm,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. And that was a good point with Halloran's been going through it since he got there, to be real. Like, dude was set up. Turned out that was the general's doing because he had to make sure they had the right person for the damn job. Then they, like you said, they didn't give him any information. He's just literally just going in blind. They got this dude flying in the plane with Halloran. Don't know why. Just know they flying around for just following Halloran's directions. They not telling this man nothing. And even when they went down in the sewers, he barely gave him information. I mean not Halloran, Hanlon literally had to demand answers. And even with old dude, when he found out it was the white dude that disrespected him, he didn't want to act like he wanted to salute him, and then he ended up getting thrown in jail, covering up for the little setup they did for him with him. And even then, he was like, nah, this don't make sense. He was like, I think it was like a gun or something. He was like, nah, because I know how long it takes to. Was it? He said, I know how long it takes to something with the gun. I don't know if it was like setting. What's the word I'm looking for?
I
Setting,
think it
not
was like
setting up.
hard to cock that gun back or something like that. Nobody can
Yeah,
do that
something
fast.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. And he started piecing it together, and I'm like, and that was another thing that kind of got me too was, and I'm with you because you made a good point about Helen. I forgot what you said. You said he tries to do everything according to, it wasn't exactly yours, but everything according to the book per se. And it's like I feel like that was sometimes not his downfall, but the thing that pissed me off about him because I'm like, I get it, but it's like, dude, sometimes if something ain't right, it ain't gonna be too many times. I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna be pissed off about it, but all right, let me go back to my duty. Like, bro,
Nah,
there was so many red flags.
it's like leave the book smarts and lean into your street smarts. Like his
Right,
book smarts were telling him like
exactly.
this, that, and the third. Follow things by the book, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And his street smarts would creep in every once in a while. Like shit don't feel right, but
Right.
I'm still gonna try to stay in line and shit like that or whatever.
Yeah.
But my
Yeah.
first thing for me is he in there try and get some sleep, and they in here jumping him to make sure he the right man for the job. That would have been the first thing that turned me off. Like, bitch, y'all did what? Y'all jumped me just to see if I'm ready to be in the game, ready to be
Okay.
affiliated. Like, no, I ain't came to the military for this. I could have went out and been banging, but y'all would beat my ass, make
Okay.
sure I'm down for the cause. Nah, fuck that. Crazy work.
Okay.
Crazy work.
Period.
But
Right.
man,
That's what I'm saying. That would I'm like, yeah, y'all can honorably discharge me at this point. I don't give a damn. Because what we ain't gonna do is do this. Was this some sort of initiation? Because that's pretty much what it was. I'm like, what if someone would have went weary and I got killed and shot? And then you do it and then don't even tell me why. This guy had to literally piece most of the whole thing with it on his own before even getting the straight thing. He already knew pretty much at that point what was going on. And I'm like, yeah, you stuck around too long for me. Like at that point, I'm like, oh no, y'all just trying to set me up. I'm sorry, ain't nothing that deep for me to put my life in danger where you got to set me up to make sure I'm the right man for the job. What job? Like, what are we doing? What you got me doing? No, he go on a plane. He's flying here, Halloran. Halloran's in the back tweaking, about to let the damn back of the plane out and about to jump out his damn self. Like, I'm like, what are we doing, bro? Yeah, yeah. It was just, it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff. Cause then it circles back to at this point we kind of all over the place. But I just want to really make a point. It kind of circles back to I feel bad for Will's fate because I looked into the lore all of it because like I said I didn't know that Will was Mike's dad in the original timeline of it, and Will dies in the fire when he's older, and I truly believe that it does have something to do with it played a part in that. Why in the world is Leroy and I forgot the wife's name, why the hell do y'all want to stay in Derry? Like the reason to me, because I know the reason, it don't make no damn sense to me. Why are y'all staying? Leave. I told my family that I was like, they literally sealed Will's fate, literally with that.
look, I'm gonna let this be clear. I do not promote domestic violence, but I would have slapped the shit out of her. Like, what you mean we going back for what? For what? After all this shit we dealt with, you still feel like we need to stay here and secure shit? No, man, let's get the fuck up out of here. Let's get the fuck up out of here. Like,
Whoa.
no, I just no. Y'all ain't go through all
Wasn't it
that to
kind of
stay.
weird?
Man,
It
man.
was it was especially with Leroy, because I'll say with Leroy, because the mom at the end, she didn't really, I don't think she really witnessed it like that until the end. The dad though, multiple times. So Miles and then Will, you should be more than anybody traumatized. You just like, oh, okay, and run out the car. Dad over there thinking about it, and I'm over here like, you would think the dad would have spazzed, like, you must be out your damn mind. We ain't staying here. My best friend done died. Kids done got killed. You think our son is safe here? We know all it takes is for someone to find one of those artifacts and move it an inch. It is waking the fuck up. Like, that's all it takes. It was sleep. This dude woke up because they destroyed the damn thing. So, literally, what makes you think it's safe to be here? I'm like, Will had the worst parents. Like, literally, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They knew what was going on. Everybody else parents don't know. I guess they just, for some reason, they just didn't know what was going to, they oblivious. Everything went back to normal. But Will's parents knew firsthand what was going on. They chose to stay there. Yeah, worst parents ever. That, come on.
Man, I just think it's something in the water for real, man. Cause ain't no way, you gonna go through all that and feel like, nah, we good to stay here. Because like I said, Derry pretty much is its playground or whatever. So I don't know what it was that just made them feel like otherwise. But it's like, nah, we done made it through. Halloran got a bum leg. Your son barely survived or whatever have you. And yeah, let's just go. Like, we ain't gotta be here. There's other places out
Mm-hmm.
here. Like, no, let's go. But
Mm-hmm.
still, decide to stay or whatever. But I mean, even with all that being said, when it got to the season finale and everything like that or whatnot, you know, basically they were just trying to close things as quick as possible they could with the season. Because honestly, this could have ran to 10 seasons if they did it right. This could have ran on for
Yeah.
10, for not 10 seasons, but 10 episodes or whatever. But like I said, when it came down to them trying to take that dagger and finally put the dagger in, which I thought was weird though that the dagger didn't want to be reconnected, which is weird to me because when it essentially hit Earth or whatever, he was encased in this stuff. So for it to not try for the shards and stuff not wanting to be reconnected, I just thought was a little weird. I don't know. I feel like I missed something when it came to that or whatever. But you know, they kind of brought some light to it when it came to Lily because it was affecting Lily. And for my Harry Potter fans out here, I kind of feel like the shards were kind of like Horcruxes or whatnot. And with that being said, they had something they would put on people, whatever. If it sit on them for too long, it's gonna fuck them up. Cause Lily was just in her own head. She felt like everybody was against her and all that. And the girls figured it out like, hey, wait a minute, now, give me this. You tripping? We all gonna distribute this around now. Cause you was acting unlike yourself or whatever. So here they are, everybody trying to switch around and stuff like that or whatever. And then when it finally get to Will, all of a sudden Will can't do shit with it, and which I thought was weird because it seemed like it would have pulled away before then, even with the girls, passing around. And I don't know if that was maybe because at some point, it had a hold of Will or whatever have you. But when it got to Will, it was like, oh man, I can't move this shit to save my life. I'm gonna take this
Yeah.
back. Like, no, we all gotta take this and put it in there and go from there. And when Halloran finally came out and reconnected with the I don't know what the name was, but the Indian ghost, I guess Rose's mother maybe. When he
Yeah.
reconnected with her or whatever, and then Rich came out from behind her. Where I was like, oh man, that's cool. Rich back in the game, and I knew Rich was gonna end up helping out in some kind of way. When we saw him or whatever. But at first I was like, so is he a ghost or is he for real now? That at first that's why I was kind of confused about it. First I was like, is he a ghost or he's real? But
Yeah.
he basically ran out there to go help them or whatever. And like I said to your point earlier with it, he was just being the biggest troll. Like he got here acting like 50 Cent instead of just running to get where he needed to go. He's slow motion and taunting the kids and shit like that. Just for Rich to pop back out like, hey, that's why I fucked your bitch, and, ran to come help the kids and shit like that, and help
Yeah,
them
that
push
part
it
was
in there.
good.
Yeah, that was funny to me or whatever. But even with that being said, Rich's spirit is still around. But what I question is, it seems like Halloran can only see the good spirits now. That's what it kind of feels like. He can only see.
Oh
He can.
yeah.
That's what it looks like. He can only see the good spirits now. And damn, I forgot all about that. So you remember when Halloran was losing his mind and shit, and all he could see were
Yeah.
these different dead people, these dark entities or whatever. And
Yeah.
Rose finally gave him his tea that would get him back right. But as he's drinking the tea, she trying to get this man instructions. Why'd you even give that man tea to begin with if you ain't gonna tell him instructions before he finished the shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
That's
that
that.
pissed me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
That pissed me
Yeah.
off. He
Cause
had
I'm
he
just like,
halfway
bro.
in. Please don't do. He already out. He already out of there. Like you should
Yeah.
explain all the shit before he drunk whatever he need to
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's to your other point with seeing the bad spirits and stuff. That may be also a result of the I don't know if the tea may have played a part in that too, because I know it helped quiet down the voices and what he was seeing, but maybe that also helped with seeing, the sort of the dark spirits and stuff like that. And then also, I think that Indian person wasn't that Indian girl's mom. Remember, she got killed when they showed it back in the 1700s. Was that
Yeah,
her?
that's
Because
what
I
I
can't
said. I
remember if
think
that
so.
was.
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
okay, okay, cool. Because I was like, okay, I think it was her. But dang, you said a lot. Oh, with the shard. So I was thinking with that because you were saying you would think they would want to be reunited, which I agree because it's like a lot of like different movies where it's like similar stuff happen, and typically it wants to reunite and it don't want to be like trying to get away. But I was thinking since the shards are like have there's some evil energy going on with that shard, so I was thinking maybe in some type of way this makes sense. Maybe it's maybe its will is somehow in the shard. So maybe if the shards and it are connected, maybe that's why it doesn't want to be put back. Maybe the shard, in a way, is trying to help not be put back because they know that's the way it can be let out into the world and eat more people or whatever like that. That's the only explanation I can think of to why the shard was trying so hard not to be put back. Maybe somehow it and the shard is connected because, like you said, it was essentially encased in this thing and ended up on Earth. So that's the only way I can think of, because I'm with you. Like, typically when things like that happens, typically it wants to be reunited and put back. But my only thing is, I'm thinking maybe somehow they this thing and it are connected, and shoot, he's like, shoot, I know we want him to get out, so no, don't put me back because this is gonna lock us back in. So I don't know, maybe that, and I guess maybe they'll go into detail more about it hopefully in the next seasons. But that's my only thing. Maybe I'm thinking, but it does give he who should not be named vibes, and that's why I was saying, I was like, Voldemort is all in this thing. That's exactly what I was feeling. I'm happy you brought that up, because I was like, this is low key given that, like, and I'm happy you said it, because I was like, at least I'm not the only one thinking that.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like I said, to your point, I feel like him and them shards are connected for whatever reason or whatnot. But it was also funny to me to find out that its biggest op is a turtle. So I don't know. Yeah, that's his biggest op for whatever reason.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I either I look at it like this: either it, the shards, and the turtle are all connected, or I just don't know. Because I mean, like we're saying, I mean, all these questions we're asking, more like they probably be answered in the next seasons coming on or whatever,
Yeah.
to give us insight of what happened or whatnot. But it definitely just leaves us with cliffhangers, figuring out why this happened and why that happened and things of that nature. But like you said, normally when it comes to shards or whatever have you, they always want to reconnect or whatnot. So for it not to connect, it's got to be a reason behind it or whatnot. Because
Mhm.
you know, and then two, the questions I'm asking is just things I know that's gonna probably be something later on. So I don't even know if I want to ask them or not. But
Yeah.
even when it came to that dagger or whatever, the dagger was something that the Indian tribe kept or whatever, to keep themselves protected or whatnot.
Yeah.
But now that they don't have it no more, what's gonna happen?
Mm.
Now essentially this has been reconnected to be used as the barrier. Now they don't have that no more. So how's that gonna affect them going forward? Is my question. So I don't know.
That's a
We'll
good
see.
point. I mean, well, in 27 years, we see, I guess it really didn't play a part, low key, because in 27 years, we end up at the current, the original timeline of, like, the original team with Mike and the rest of them. So, I mean, I guess it didn't really play a part. I mean, I feel like it would have, I'm sure it would have helped them kids if they had a piece of the shards, because they had to deal with that with the extra. I think they didn't kill, yeah, they didn't kill it into adulthood, honestly. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't kill it to adulthood. So yeah, that's a good point. But like you said, since we already know what happened, I guess, shoot, it didn't really matter at the end of the day about the shard.
Right.
Too. But I was about to say something. Circling back to the general, since we are at the finale at this point, I, for one, because we already said this dude was an idiot, the general, not the actor, obviously, but I'm just over here like, you over here, first of all, thinking you control this dude or it, then you walk over to it, and then that's the thing that kills me about these people. You're literally looking at it in admiration for some reason. Like, he's smiling like, oh, finally, like, I finally meet you again. I'm like, dude, like, how are you not afraid right now? This thing got on all fours and chased you, was about to get you too. So, like, why are you over here like, and then when it is like, is they is free from Halloran, this dude is like, you're free now, you can go. And I'm like, do you not know how petty it is? And I was like, what's gonna happen is it's about to remember you, because one thing about it is that dude is petty. And when he realized it was him, I'm like, yeah, it's over. He been wanting you too.
I mean,
You
it's
sat up there
talking
and
about
was an
sniffing.
idiot.
Talking about sniffing this man. This nigga try to walk. Smell like bitch
I
in
know
here.
you.
Like what the fuck?
I'm like, the general is the biggest idiot, man. The biggest idiot. Just an idiot. Yeah, and then that's another thing. We keep talking about Ronnie's dad, dude that sat up here and essentially caused all this mess. What got me is you got the gun in your hand, right? Why are you yelling, talking about, go baby, Ronnie, go baby? Shoot the gun.
I'm talking
What
about
are we
yelling with
doing?
spit coming out of his mouth.
Why
Shoot the
why is
gun.
Leroy the only person doing anything? Like, dude got shot in the leg and is still, what are we doing? It took the deadlights to get this dude before he just, the wife got a gun, she Leroy running over. Shoot the gun. What are we doing?
We are seeing that it's slowing him down. Shoot that motherfucker so these
Shoot.
kids can do what they need to do.
I'm like, when it sprouted wings, I'm like, is no one going to do anything at this point? Y'all just gonna keep yelling at these kids to keep going. Man, I was like, these adults are trash, man. These adults are trash. Keep shooting. Y'all got guns. What are we doing? Man, by the grace of God, they got that shard back in there. I mean, thank God for Rich and Pennywise sent up here playing so damn much. I mean, Pennywise could have got him if he didn't play so
I
much.
mean, but my thing is, when it comes to Pennywise, I don't know if. Well, I will say this: when it comes to the shard, of course, there is some type of aura around that shard
Yeah,
that kind of keeps him away.
yeah,
We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen in real time when it was in the water and Lily picked it up. Like we see that when he gets near it, he don't want to fuck with it. I
yeah,
understand that point of it or whatever. So when it came down to it, he's over there trying to finally chase them to get it. It's like, was he really slowing down because he really? I mean, how I say this? Was he really slowing down because he was taunting them, or because he really couldn't get near them because of the shard? Because the thing about it is when Lily, Ronnie, and Marge pulled up with the shard, he had them cornered. Like, they were scared of shit or whatever. They was trying to save Will.
yeah,
And this nigga just run around. Zoom, 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 zoom. Just getting up through there and they
yeah,
can't see him in this fog or whatever have you. Then this nigga proceed out to go a long ass arm, grab Marge's
yeah.
leg, yaga, pulled her ass over. And it was like, where was this in this moment? So,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
do think the shard is a repellent, but to a certain extent. So, I don't know. It's hard to say.
I honestly don't know because my whole thing is like, okay, if you know that once they put this shard in the tree and that's the only, like, you have a chance to get out, but you playing so much, you going in slow motion, you playing around. I'm with you. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, is there a reason why? Because my understanding was he was trying to get past the tree so he can get out damn Derry. So I'm like, I don't and then when they were about to get it in the tree, it looked like he was trying to, that's when he sprouted wings and he was trying to like maybe swipe them away or something. I'm like, well, shouldn't he, it is kind of is plot holes because when he first saw the shard, he didn't even come close at all. When Lily had it in the sewers, he like left. Then the point that you made when they all had it, he pulled Marge, or that's her name, Marge, out the way. He was coming up pretty close. He was playing around like, huh, and then he'll go on to the other side, huh, all this other stuff. And it's like, it's kind of holes there because it's like, for one, you made it seem like he can't come close to that thing. He's super afraid of it. But then another time, he's like kind of taunting, playing around with it. Then there's another time where it looks like he can come up on this thing. So it's kind of like, you know, what is it? But again, it could be the writing. Maybe, we shouldn't question everything with shit. I'm curious too, like, what? Right. And then another thing that got me, I felt like it was a bit too obvious. Because then you already know the nerds piece stuff together was Marge, since we're talking about Marge, she ends up having, obviously Richie, who's in the original sort of events of it. Um, I just felt like it kind of revealing that, and it could be because I already knew. I just felt like it was too in your face versus kind of like a subtlety thing. And I just felt like maybe the writing could have been done a little better with that. So it's not so in your face. I kind of felt like they set up that whole scene specifically just to reveal that. And I'm like, okay, we get it. Like, we know. I don't know. And it could just be me, maybe because I already knew. But I was like, okay, like, we get it. You didn't have to set this whole thing up for it. Like, I don't know. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mhm.
Like, oh
Oh,
yeah, like this is your son. Don't you recognize your boy and shit like that or whatever. But that sat with her because even after those events, she was like, you know, what if he's telling the truth or whatever? What if I do have this son and things of that nature and I call him Richie and whatever, whatever. But yeah, I just thought that was just interesting how that went or whatnot because a lot of people didn't understand it when he said what he said as far as he's in all timelines. Like he's like I died and I reborn. It's the same to me or whatever. So essentially, to me, it seems like it in itself is in a loop. Like he keeps going through these motions or whatever. He comes to try to kill these kids, so these kids don't kill him. And then when he doesn't succeed, he dies here or he gets repelled here and he's just back in this loop or whatever have
yeah.
you. But I guess when you're a being like that, time is just fluid to you because it's just a constant circle.
Yeah, and I wish they would explain more of that because I was trying to follow it. I'm like, okay, present, past, future. Okay, so you kind of exist in all these timelines. It's not clicking for me, but it was like I wish would have like they would have just explained a little bit better. Because I'm like, we Marvel heads, we talk about like the multiverse and all that other stuff. So, but I just was trying to understand like what exactly does that mean? Like you said, does he just relive over and over again? Is it a never ending cycle? Does he like what does that mean? Because all we know is like in the original sort of story in the 80s with they kill him when they're adults. So all I know is they kill him because he says he was like they kill me and I gotta kill you. So it's like does he then be reborn again? Like I need more context with that. So I hope they explain that so I can understand, or maybe I need to read up on the lore because I'm like what?
I mean, maybe that's where the other two seasons will come into play or whatnot. Explain more what's going
Yeah.
on or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's like, all right, we know you're in all these timelines or whatever. Where do we go from here or whatnot? Because if you're essentially in this constant loop, are we gonna see your birth in season three? Like, are we gonna see when you're born and come here and do whatever it is that you're doing or whatever? Because like we said at the beginning of all this, when it came to this series, he was way more brutal in this series than he was in the movie. In the movie, he was just messing around with them, messing with their heads, blah blah blah. But when it came to this series, getting him up out of there. Like if he got a chance, he getting
Oh,
you
for
up out of
sure.
there. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
that's
much more brutal. I mean, the most we saw in the first one, he bit the brother's arm off, which that was crazy. And then I think in the second one, he put his he had his mouth over some little girl's head, and that right there, I was like, whoa, I was expecting that, okay, but this crazy, crazy, but very good. And then also, I want to touch because I don't want to forget with Ronnie with some of her trauma when they show, I guess her mom died in childbirth with her. That was crazy. They had that girl in a sack, like. I'm like, bro, and the fact that this is just all fun and games for Ed, he's just seasoning them up. He's like, "Hey, I'm getting them seasoned." I'm just like, I'm just like, lit like she went through. got born again. Literally. Literally. I'm like, man. Even with Lily in the grocery store with her crazy self, up there, jars of her dad just everywhere. I'm like, that's petty. But yeah, that is it was there was some crazy scenes this season. Crazy scenes. I think overall, go ahead. Oh, no, no, I was just gonna say overall, I think it was just the scenes and the graphics stuff, like with the gore. I think it was just really good. They did a really good job.
Like I was finna say, I think when it came to Lily, it was just too easy for it when it came to Lily. But you know, when it came to
Yeah.
all the others, especially when it came to Ronnie, for sure, like that nigga had to go deep. Like, oh yeah, nah, I'm really about to
Oh,
fuck your head up, you know, with this one or whatever, and went from there. Because like I said, with Lily, it was like, all right, yeah, your dad died. You know, people made jokes about him being in the pickle jars and shit like that. Ah man, yeah, that's fucked up. But with Ronnie shit, like Ronnie was in the bed trying to sleep. Nigga was like, "Oh, I'm gonna birth you
psychological.
again." Yeah, like I just like, yeah, nah, you ain't just coming off of that like easy. Like he rebirthed you. You in the other side of the room. He making it look like he's your mom and shit like that, looking big as fuck for whatever
Uh,
reason. I was like, yeah, that'll fuck anybody up. Then the door finally
okay.
opened and her dad like, what's going on? And again, I'm just like, of course, this is before everything happened, but then again, I'm just like, now I look back and I'm like, man, fuck you. Your daughter going through it and you just run through these streets trying to save your little relationship.
Right. It
Mm-hmm.
is crazy that Ronnie haven't even seen her mom in person because she died in childbirth. So to see that gotta fuck anybody up. I'm sorry. That's crazy. Yeah, I think with that scene right there, I'm like, dang, he meant. I'm honestly surprised that didn't just completely mess her up for good after that, because that definitely would have messed me up. Shoot,
Yeah.
I ain't seen my mom because she died in childbirth with me, and that's what I see. Oh man, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
like not want to sleep again type shit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but you know,
Absolutely,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Overall, solid show. Solid show. I'm trying to think if there's anything we missed. I think we covered as much all over the place we were going. I think we did end up covering everything. So, but yeah, overall the show was, I think it was pretty solid. It's just for me, like I said, I think the first two episodes I was like, man, this is good. But then it was just that I think because I held the first two episodes in such high regard, it's just the rest of the season kind of was just like uh, and then I think they reeled it back in the last episode for me. I was like, this is really good, especially the school scene with he did the deadlights in the auditorium or the wherever they were at the gym, and all them kids just flew up. I was like, yo, this is dope. Like I was just in all of the effects at that point. I was like, this is cool.
yeah. That nigga just says time to level up. Everybody just went up there. I was like, oh, shit, god damn.
Because they always say it'd be like every 27 years right before he goes to sleep is some crazy catastrophic event that takes place. I'm like, how is it that y'all been letting this dude get away with this every 27 years? Every 27 years.
But you gotta think about how long of a span that is for people to
True.
forget, and then it falls on that next generation or whatever. So you literally got damn near 3 decades of generations that not dealing with that shit. Then boom, pop here is like, what the fuck's this shit or whatever. So yeah, it's a lot going on. But like I said, I still put a lot of blame on the Indian tribe because they be knowing and they just don't tell nobody what the fuck going on. They help
Yeah.
where they can, essentially. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
outside of that, they hands
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. I agree. I agree with the Indians. I'm like, man, y'all just literally might well damn well say they just watching the show because they living on the outside of all this, just watching the chaos and stuff. And I was gonna say to your point, my only thing with that is that okay, let's say they're like maybe what 10, 11, 12, or whatever, give or take. So if they stay, we're just assuming hopefully they don't forget. I would just say for me, I don't know if I would forget something that traumatizing. Like if I stayed in Derry. Now if you moved away and they say you do forget, but if you stay in, I'm just like, okay, because by that time, by the next cycle comes around when he wakes up, you're at this point just assuming you're married with kids or whatever, kids of your own, or you're just an adult. I just feel like I don't know if I would forget. That's why I'm just like, how are y'all just not the people who know, not the people that are just looking at it as kids are just disappearing. The people who know it's out there, they seen it. I'm like, how are y'all just or maybe they don't want any parts of it. I don't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was just about to say to your point. I mean, I think the tribe is the only ones that really know what's going on because they're outside of everything or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah.
even that being said, even Rose had a shop in the town, so regardless of that or whatever, she still knows what's going on. But then you got to think about the town. The whole town in itself was psyched out. You had different elements and scenes of where you know kids would be beating up another kid, and nobody would move a muscle, like just normal shit
It's
for them
true.
or whatever. So, like I said in the beginning, something in the water or whatever have you, to where
Mm,
sometimes people there just don't really, everything's just outside out of mind for them or whatever. And and
yeah.
I mean, and that's in its favor or whatever. So if people are oblivious to what's going on, he's able to move around like he want to, with
Yeah.
low consequences or whatever. So I think with that being said, that's kind of what's going on. I do think that town in itself is in some type of trance, and
Mm,
that's why things are happening the way it does. Because it would be
huh.
easier sitting there like y'all should remember this, or if you didn't leave, you should understand and know. But nah, it's something else going on. Because even in the movies, when the kids got older and left or whatever, and then they came back. They didn't know what the fuck was going on for real until shit started getting deep. They was like, oh shit, oh shit, But I think that's more of its control because for it, it's like as long as I have you in this box, I can control what you see.
Yeah.
Essentially, like what the general wanted. He wanted fear to control the people, and it
Yeah.
essentially is controlling the fear within the town. That's why they want to release him. They want him to bring that same shit to other neighboring places or
Yeah.
whatever. Put that fear in them. So as long as you
Yeah.
in that area, you gonna feel it. Yeah,
No, that's a
yeah.
good point. That's a good point. I didn't think of it like that because it's like kind of like you brought up the point with the kids just beating up that other kid, and she just looking like the wife looking like, does anybody else see this? And it's kind of just like a no one's phase, and it's I do think it's something just weird going on with that town. And you're right. I think it's just some people are just under some sort of trance. There's something going on weird in the air over there, and it would make sense because y'all are essentially in his enclosure. It would make sense for something like that to be happening so he could have some sort of level of control. So, no, that's a great point. Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot to unpack, y'all. Yeah.
That really just kind of kept me on the edge. Like, okay, what's
Yeah,
gonna happen here?
for
Like,
sure.
and then they put us in that they put us in the mindset we're used to being in as far as like waiting every week for an episode versus just getting bombarded with the whole season and finish it within a day and a half. So for us to be on
Yeah.
the edge of our seat just waiting for the next episode was refreshing because we don't have that nowadays. So yeah, that's why I kind of give it props on to be an actual fearful series to keep us going every week. And then with all that being said, hey, they're gonna be renewed for a second and third season. So it's like, all right, bet we can't wait. So yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, for sure. Same. I think it was refreshing. I always think it's dope to have shows and stuff because once it's over, once one show's over, you're kind of like, dang, where's the next show? So I, I'm I'm gonna miss watching every Sunday, but I'm looking forward to the second and third seasons. This apparently has already been greenlit, so we're gonna be going back 27 years and then going back another 27 years. So I think it's gonna be super interesting. Oh, we forgot the end with the daughter Bob, what's his name? Something Bob. Pennywise is the person he copied from. His daughter it lived the rest of her days out in an asylum, and then it kind of circles back into 27 years, which puts us in the original timeline of it. And it shows the girl with the red hair. I forgot her name, but she's part of the original crew. So I thought that was a good Easter egg. Yeah, another good Easter egg. I know. I mean, relatively like right after that too, I think when she filmed it. So that was crazy. And I didn't even know that was her. I was like, that's dope that they were able to get her before, she passed away. But yeah, that was a really good scene. I liked how they just tied it all together. I was like, okay, yeah, solid. Dang. Yeah. Yeah, and even like the little in the universe, I know somebody made a list and it had like The Shining, which I apparently that's where Halloran, you had brought it up early, the hotel, and my sister had to point that out to me because I'm like, I'm new to the lore of this. I'm trying to learn it. But she was like, yeah, the Shining, the hotel. I'm like, girl, I don't know. I've never seen The Shining. But even with that, people got like a list of like movies you can watch in order all the way up to the series. So thing. I wish I had it in front of me. I would just say it for the viewers, but maybe I'll just put it in one of the comments in the video. But yeah, I'm even thinking about maybe taking a day and just watch some of those movies too, and be like, how does everything connect now that we? So yeah, it's very dope. Mm, yeah. Poor Halloran, he just don't catch a break. Dude about to walk into another hellhole. Poor Halloran. Yeah, about to find out. Okay, I'm gonna watch it. Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Oh, either. Connected. Mhm. And yeah, like Stephen King got a whole MCU universe out here. Just everything just interconnected. I love it though, because I'm like, shoot, I need to watch some of those movies and just see now that I watched the show and I've seen the movies, I've seen the originals. I'm like, maybe I need to watch some of these movies and be like, oh, okay, I see this, or if there's Easter eggs in there or something. So yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, 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 super dope. Yeah, y'all, if you haven't gone and see it, I don't know what you waiting for. Go watch it. Go watch it. It was dope. And I want to really get into the lore as well too. Definitely want to read. I'm probably gonna watch a video on like all things of Derry and it and all this other stuff. It's very interesting. How deep the lore goes. So yeah, y'all check that out. Watch the movies too. What you doing if you haven't watched the movies? Shoot. Yeah. Classics. Mhm. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, I think we covered everything. Think we did a good job. Like I said, forgive us for being all over the place. We just was excited and just was like, but y'all, if y'all watching this, y'all don't see the show, so y'all should have been able to keep up. So, but yeah, you guys check that out. We think it was solid. We think it was good. Um, yeah, and I think next episode we're doing Avatar. What's it? Was it Fire something?
I think Fire and Ash.
Fire and Ash. Yep,
Hmm.
we're gonna be covering Fire and Ash, and then whatever else is coming out. It's a few things that are supposed to be coming out actually that we need to get on top of. But yeah, y'all, if y'all want to see more, you guys already know what to do. We happy you guys sat with us. We hope you enjoyed the episode. This is your girl Shalon, and this is your co-host
K1.
All right, y'all, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.